It's the mobile refrigeration unit making the NHL Stadium Series possible. The Washington Capitals taking on the Carolina Hurricanes here in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's here where 20,000 liters of water is able to make 2 inches of fresh ice usable for hockey players to skate on. Duke came in, played their first game of the NCAA tournament today, and planted their flag on the court that this is their game and year. Or rather, should I say, Jesse, their Cooper flag, because he made his return to action after suffering that ankle injury. Piotr being one of your good friends on the team, I mean, did you tell him anything or try and convince him, hey, tough it out, you can do this after a rough first period?
Yeah, I kind of, didn't want to say a lot, but in the second period I just came to him. I said, brother, I believe in you.
And in these 4 acres of forest, underneath all the colored leaves and decade-old trees on the ground, lies the key to success for the future of Carolina ice hockey. I did ask Duke University if Maluach was still in the country or even in Durham. The university did not reply directly, so I reached out to Rubio's office about this case, and they say that, quote, visa records are confidential under U.S. law, therefore we cannot discuss the details of individual visa cases. So when I spoke to Jacob Slavin before the game this morning, he said that, number one, there isn't going to be any kind of retaliation. The Canes are going to focus on playing their version of hockey, which after the first 15 minutes of the game, they certainly did, which is what got them to this point right here. A good way to make the series 2-0. Defense was clicking, offense was clicking clearly for you. How'd that feel tonight? Ryan, let's start with you so we can give the Sports Night rookie Kurt a chance to see how a program veteran like yourself answers these questions. The Hurricanes won their second round series against the Devils 2 years ago, 4-1. What are you expecting this time around? Sebastian Aho, of course, leading this team with points, hoping to carry a hot streak into the playoffs. Call it beginner's luck or call it causing chaos with confidence. But the rookies of Carolina's past and present have made a habit of creating big moments and even bigger games. Duke has won 8 games in a row, and they return to action next weekend when they take on Pitt for the second time in 2 weeks. The Blue Devils got a big win Saturday when they took down a scrappy Georgia Tech team. Jeremy Roach, he got a little banged up. Mark Mitchell didn't play, and as a result, they needed someone to step up in a huge way. 19 months ago, Parker Bird smiles in a hospital bed, while this was all that was left of his right leg. Bird was in a boating accident while tubing with his friends.
Hey, Parker.
He could have given up, fixating on what could have been. Instead, like any true baseball player, he changed his approach. He embarked on a rehab journey to get back to the sport he loves, using a support system of friends, coaches, and family.
You know, his mom told him pretty early on, like, hey, Parker, there's no D1 guy that's ever played the game with a prosthetic. You could be the first. And I went to Dick's and bought a 5-pound, actually I bought him a 10-pound weight, and he was so weak he couldn't even pick up 10 pounds. But I made him start working out in the hospital because, we didn't want him to quit. We didn't want him to lose his fight that he's had his whole life. And as soon as we came home from the hospital, he's like, hey, let's go to the cage. He was in a wheelchair. You know, he went to the cage in a wheelchair, and all he wanted to do was track pitches. And from that moment, he has figured out every single day what it has taken to get back to this moment right here.
That moment was the start of the 2024 college baseball season, where Parker is still a Pirate and a baseball player. But as of Friday, February 16th, he also was the first ever person to play in a Division I baseball game with a prosthetic leg.
Ball 4 outside.
He didn't just play, he walked. He got on base in an official game.
The picture of resilience and fight. Parker Bird will receive an ovation. He's got a pinch runner.
You ever seen anything like that, buddy?
No, never in my life.
I mean, with my family, my mom, she kind of implied in me pretty early on from my accident. She had kind of interaction where she told me, keep going, that there always has to be a first, and why couldn't it be me? Kind of ever since then, I believed in this dream and knew that one day it'd come true.
Parker's dream may have changed, but he's now on a mission to inspire others.
Show people that I can still play baseball, and that, just because I lost a limb doesn't mean that my life's over, and to show people that people with limb differentials and prosthetics are still athletes, and that they still have hopes and aspirations, that they're still normal people.
For Parker's dad, being able to witness his son's happiness and drive again is all he could ask for.
19 months ago, we never thought this day would happen. And, just to be able to get in the car and drive to a game and know there's a possibility he could getting to the game's always a big moment for me and his mom and his two sisters, just to know that he's back in the game. Besides the birth of my three children, it was probably the greatest moment of my life. Never did I think I would see him step in the box again.
Sports have the power to change lives.
I'll never forget the 6-year-old kid, the smile on his face. That was his lifelong dream at age 6, and he had realized that dream.
This group of people are historically told they can't do things. I'm trying to erase the word can't from their vocabulary.
It found me. I wasn't actively seeking out a sport, really. It just feels normal, which is, it's wonderful. They're my second family. I love them.
I got you. Ready? You can do it. You're tired. There you go.
Somebody just laughed at me when I said Paralympics. I'm like, they're athletes, guys. They just don't have all the pieces and parts that you do.
It's 9 a.m. Saturday morning at Polar Ice Raleigh. Athletes of all different skill levels lace up for their weekly practice.
Lots of fun.
They're here to play sled hockey, a sport that makes the ice accessible for those living with physical disabilities or mental impairments. Caden Beasley was made to play sled hockey. In early April, he joined Team USA's Paralympic sled hockey team. He knows when it's time to lock in.
Especially on the national team, they go like jerseys. Like they have like coach comes in and talk, and then they do jerseys, and that's kind of like,
On the ice, the 18-year-old from Raleigh is as talented as any hockey player, which is impressive since he's only been playing for about 7 years.
I was at a doctor's appointment, and someone there who worked there asked me if I did any adaptive sports, and they told me about sled hockey here. I didn't know it was a thing at first, so I didn't know what the possibilities were for the sport, but it's really cool to be able to do it.
He was born in China with congenital bilateral above-the-knees amputation. In simple terms, he has no legs. He was abandoned by his birth parents. At the age of 3, Mercy smiled upon Caden. He was adopted by Anthony and Amy Beasley and was brought home on Christmas Day 2009. He was given a new life, a new opportunity to find a sense of belonging.
I think for Caden, he would want for people to see him just like everybody else. He has hopes and dreams and desires just like everybody else does. And that is my hope, that people will see sled hockey players as just being human.
For someone who has no legs, Caden has no trouble jumping over life's challenges. His abilities amaze his mom every time he touches the ice.
How strong is Caden?
I think he's probably one of the strongest people that I know.
Is there anything you can't do?
No. I believe that anything he puts his mind to and anything that he wants to do, he will find a way. I have seen that time and again over the last 15 years that he's been a part of our family. He has got the best attitude and fortitude that I've ever seen in anyone, and it's inspiring to me.
Caden isn't Amy's only adopted son or the only sled hockey player in the family. The Beasleys adopted his older brother Caleb in 2006. The boys are from the same Chinese province and are not related, yet their bond is thicker than blood.
In the beginning, Caleb really didn't have a desire to be out on the ice. He just enjoyed the friendships that developed from Caden playing, and those guys just enjoyed being together. And it became a joke that Caleb would like to be the mascot. They even went so far as to find a mascot, outfit and all. And then one day he had the opportunity to get on the ice.
Rather than support his brother from the sideline, Caleb did what the sled hockey program begs anyone to do. Just try the sport. The result was life-changing.
Caleb challenged him. And Caleb saw something in Caden that I don't even know that Caden saw in himself. And he encouraged him, was with him every step of the way, told him, you can do this, and challenged him in ways out on the ice that I don't think anybody else could have. And to see where they are today as brothers at home and the conversations that they have, it's been a tremendous blessing for us to see them grow closer through sled hockey.
They're close because of their love for each other, but they're also physically close, something that comes from their competitive nature.
Dude, I mean, for one, his skill blows me away every time I skate with him. It should not be humanly possible to move the way he does. I think a lot of people equate adaptive with easier. You know, it's an adaptive sport, but there's nothing easy about it. So being able to see the physicality and the potential of it, super awesome.
Witnessing something great is amazing. Taking part in something great, it's even better.
I say the best feeling is being on the ice when one of us gets the goal together. This way, the first thing we've been able to do competitively. So, I mean, it's been a lot of fun.
And it's those moments on the ice when Caden's succeeding that makes Amy Beasley so happy and so proud as a mother.
I think you're on the edge of your seat with every game that I see him play, and when he gets the puck, there's this, you know, just this sense of anticipation, you know, what's going to happen and what's he going to do. I can't describe the feeling that I have, just the sense of pride and just joy that I have seeing him do something he loves and excel in it is really incomparable.
It's hard to describe the ripple effect that can come from one single shot of a puck.
So it started with our son Tyler. In 2006, when the Hurricanes made their cup run, we took him to one of the playoff games. That was his first hockey game. And he had a blast. And on the way home, on the drive home, he kept talking to my wife and I about how he wanted to play hockey. He'd fallen in love with the sport. He was born with spina bifida and has no use of his legs, so that was obviously a pretty tall order. We just kind of assumed that he would forget about it and move on to something else, but he didn't.
After a Stanley Cup victory and less than a year's time later, a new skate touched the ice for the first time, making more history in North Carolina.
He went from a 6-year-old kid who uses a wheelchair and was constantly being told by the experts that, you know, you can't do this and you shouldn't do that and you'll never do this and you'll never do that, to believing that there's nothing he can't do.
Tyler Jacoby became the first ever sled hockey player in all of North and South Carolina as a new team was born, a nonprofit organization called Hurricanes Sled Hockey.
I remember it like it was yesterday, and he skated away on his own, independently. It's a feeling that I'll never forget. It's indescribable. We knew right away that we had almost a responsibility to bring that kind of joy to as many people as we can.
Their discovery became a beacon of hope for hundreds of players, thousands of friends, family, and supporters. In Raleigh, North Carolina, it's the limited who have learned how to live a truly limitless life.
You ready for a good practice?
A lot of the kids that skate out here with us describe it almost as the feeling of flying. It's so freeing for them to get out there on the ice.
Come on, let's go, guys. Don't hit the tires. You got to go around the tire.
Like the hockey played in the NHL, teamwork is a vital part of Hurricane sled hockey's success.
It's almost like a pit crew. You know, somebody skates off and we have to put them back together and get them back out there.
You have the coaches, many of them volunteers who have just one reason for being involved.
Smiles. Look at them. And not just from the players, look at their families on the side there when they're watching, and the satisfaction they get their kid being an athlete. Organization that says hockey changes lives, in this sport, man, it does.
People who had no idea this sport existed come to a practice and immediately get hooked, like in the case of Cody Lawyer, a Raleigh native who plays rec league hockey at this very same ice rink.
There's no way I could do this. And then like just shooting top shelf and passing and just zipping around, like I I can't believe it, honestly. It's amazing to see all of these kids and adults out here, and despite their limitations, learning the game and getting exercise and playing the game that I love. So, I mean, it's just awesome to have a community like this.
In the early stages of the team's history, the parents of players paid for a lot of out-of-pocket expenses, paying to build sleds, renting ice time, and traveling to tournaments. Recently, Hurricane sled hockey has received financial support from outside sources, making it easier for players to have the opportunity they've worked so hard for. That doesn't mean, though, that the parents aren't still pitching in.
So Elizabeth has the distinction of having the most highly customized sled in the entire program.
There you go. From building one sled to hundreds, Jacoby has become a sled building guru.
So she's going to go like that.
There we go. Whether it's a mental disability or a physical one, Jacoby's goal is to find a sled that works for everyone's specific needs.
So this is what's called an anti-tip device, which will only allow the sled, while the player's in it, you know, if they get bumped or for whatever reason fall over on the ice, it'll only let them fall that far. So it won't let them fall all the way over. And different players, depending on their diagnosis, if they were to fall over, would struggle to get all the way back up on their own.
Learning to pick themselves up is a lesson all sled hockey players must learn. But it's a lesson they easily learn when they get the support that surrounds them.
I love you, Stormy.
Over a span of 6 years, the Carolina Hurricanes, through their Hurricanes Foundation, have donated supplies and money to Hurricane sled hockey, totaling more than $75,000.
So start your poke in here and then push all the way back.
But if you asked any parent, player, or coach what Hurricane sled hockey needs most, there's only one consistent answer.
Honestly, I think a lot of people would expect me to say money. Of course, it takes money to make this happen, but without the players and their families, we don't exist. So awareness is my answer.
A lot of people's minds go, oh, they're probably looking for donations. That's not it at all. We're looking for more players. So if you know friends, family, neighbors, someone in your community that has a disability who loves the sport of hockey, bring them here.
We need more awareness and more interest, really. I mean, we got people want to support us all the time, and that's awesome, but we need more players.
Our thing is hockey changes lives, okay? That's our motto, I guess you'd say. And we can't change your life if we don't, if you don't know we exist.